Good to see you today. Thank you for joining me. We are going to be looking at the account of the wise men today. Our hymn is O Come All Ye Faithful.
O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant, O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Our passage comes from Matthew chapter 2 today. Verse 1, Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who was born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. So they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, determined from them what time the star appeared, and he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search carefully for the young child, and when you have found him, bring back word to me that I may come and worship him also. When they heard the king, they departed, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And we'll talk about verse 12 in all likelihood tomorrow. But let's back up to the beginning. The first question, this passage and this situation that so many, of course, are familiar with, question should probably be asked, how did they know about this? Who are these wise men? Who are these wise men? Wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. I think all we can say for certain is, as they say, we have seen his star in the east. Some sort of revelation had taken place. The Lord revealed, the angels spoke to the shepherds in the fields. Well, the angel could have spoken to people elsewhere too. It had to be revealed somehow. They didn't come up with this on their own. It had to be revealed. Another possibility to consider, perhaps, is you might remember that in the time of the captivity, the individuals who were among the wise men, like Daniel and others, who were very much interested in the timing of when these things were going to be. You might remember, and I'm not saying that it was Daniel himself, but not everybody came back to Jerusalem. Not everybody came back to Israel. Not everybody did. People stayed in those places. So as Jews would have stayed in those places, you might think about some of those who were counted as wise men, perhaps, or at least the influence of those wise men. Whatever's going on, these wise men, they learned it. They learned it somehow. It was revealed somehow that that's who they are, the wise men from the east. So look back in our passage. So they come to Jerusalem, and it causes quite the hubbub in verse 3. So this was not an everyday occurrence in all likelihood, wise men from the east coming to Jerusalem. it was quite the scene. And Herod's not the only one who heard about it. All Jerusalem with him, they heard about it, and they heard what they were looking for, who they were looking for. We have come to worship him. And so Herod gathers all the chief priests and the scribes and inquires where the Christ was to be born. And they say, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. And then you have the quotation from the Old Testament. What was the old law? It was the tutor to bring them to Christ. They give the right answer. Herod says, where is the Christ supposed to come from? And they had been prepared well because God had prepared them well. The prophecies had been made. You want to know where the Christ is from? This is where. Now, I understand in other places, okay, he's from Bethlehem, but also Nazareth. He's going to come out of Egypt. And so there's going to be some confusion about that. But here, the big one, they got it right. They got the answer right. They had been prepared well. And I guess my thinking with that is, for those who reject him, it's not God's fault. It's not God's fault if people did not know. It's their own fault. If they're not going to recognize it, it's because they haven't read the old law. They haven't been listening to the old law when it was read. They haven't been taking advantage of what the Lord has equipped them with. Thinking of what Paul tells Timothy. All scriptures breathed out by God. It's profitable for this, to equip man unto every good work. All right? Preparation. These people, they'd been prepared. So when Herod asks the question, he gets the right answer. They'd been prepared well. Back in our passage. They came and they worshipped. When they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother and fell down and worshipped him. When they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. He is deity. Sometimes people lose sight of that fact that he is deity. And what I mean by that is sometimes people say, well, it's not right to pray to Jesus. He is deity, He deserves worship. He deserves praise. And he hears us. This is the confidence we have if we ask anything in his name. I understand he's also under authority. And so he is the mediator between man and God. And so ultimately it is God who fills all in all. I understand that. But he is deity. And the reason we know his deity is because they came in, they worshipped him, and it was not stopped. The Lord had revealed that his son had been born, and so they come looking for him. We have come to worship him. It's what they were, I would suggest, it's what they were told to do. Or at least they took it upon themselves. The King of the Jews. Where is he who was born King of the Jews? We have come to worship. You don't worship. The angels do not allow worship. Men do not allow worship, or at least they shouldn't. Peter did not. The angels did not. Here, as they come and they present their treasures, they fell down and they worshipped him. What makes him worthy? Because he is the Son of God. He is deity. He is the Word which was God, the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh. And they come to worship. Oh, come all ye faithful. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.